Welcome to Mysteries and Crime, the channel where we unravel history's most haunting cases and chilling mysteries. Today, we dive into the horrifying tale of the Moscow, Idaho College Murders, a story steeped in unanswered questions, eerie coincidences, and the shattering loss of promising lives. Before we begin, keep your ears sharp. Today's clue is woven into the story. Think you can solve it? Let us know in the comments below. On November 13th, 2022, the small college town of Moscow, Idaho, awoke to a nightmare. 4 students, vibrant, ambitious, and loved, were found brutally murdered in their off-campus home. The picturesque setting of a university town was forever marred by the haunting events of that night. Who could have committed such a heinous act? What were their motives? And how did such horror unfold in a close-knit community where everyone knew each other? As we delve into this case, we'll explore the evidence, theories, and chilling details that have gripped public attention. So settle in and prepare for an unsettling journey into one of the most perplexing and devastating cases of recent years. Moscow, Idaho, home to the University of Idaho, is a quintessential college town known for its vibrant community and serene landscapes. But in November 2022, this peaceful facade was shattered. The victims, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were bright, young students who shared an off-campus residence. The house, located on King Road, was a typical student rental, often bustling with friends and laughter. Kaylee and Madison, best friends since childhood, were inseparable. Zana and her boyfriend Ethan were enjoying the freshness of young love. Together, they represented the promise of the future. The timeline leading up to the tragedy is critical. On the night of November 12th, Kaylee and Madison spent time at a local bar, returning home in the early hours. Zana and Ethan attended a fraternity party nearby. Hours later, a scene of unspeakable horror was discovered. All 4 were found dead in the house. The brutality of the crime stunned the nation. No signs of forced entry, no obvious motive. The mystery deepened with each passing day, leaving friends, family, and law enforcement desperate for answers. Who would target these young adults in such a vicious manner? And why? These questions remain at the heart of this unsolved mystery. The King Road residence, nestled among other student homes, was a hub of activity. A modest multi-story house, its location offered a sense of security within a familiar neighborhood. But this very accessibility may have contributed to the tragedy. The house had multiple entry points, including a sliding glass door often left unlocked, a detail investigators scrutinized. The University of Idaho campus, a short distance away, is another key location. The close-knit student body was shaken to its core, with many questioning their safety. The Greek life community, central to the victims' social lives, became an area of focus as rumors and speculation spread. Downtown Moscow, where Kaylee and Madison visited a bar hours before their deaths, also became a focal point. Surveillance footage from the area helped reconstruct their final movements. Lastly, the rural roads and secluded areas surrounding the town added an ominous backdrop. Did the perpetrator know these areas well, or was this an outsider exploiting the town's quiet charm? The geography of Moscow played a silent yet pivotal role in both the crime and the investigation. Sunday, November 13th, 2022, began like any other day. Around noon, a 911 call from the King Road house shattered the calm. The caller, One of the surviving housemates reported an unconscious person. What first responders found was far more sinister. 4 students, brutally murdered, their rooms stained with evidence of violence. The surviving housemates, who had been asleep during the attack, were in shock. Initial confusion surrounded why they hadn't heard or seen anything. Law enforcement later clarified that the layout of the house, divided into multiple levels, could explain the lack of awareness. News of the murders spread like wildfire, plunging the community into fear. Parents called their children, urging them to leave campus. Students locked their doors, questioning whether the killer might strike again. The coroner's report painted a chilling picture. All 4 victims had been stabbed multiple times, likely while they slept. The weapon, a fixed-blade knife, was never found. This detail intensified the mystery, as such a weapon suggested premeditation. The discovery was not just tragic but deeply puzzling. How could someone carry out such an act without drawing attention? Was the killer someone the victims knew? As the investigation began, these questions hung heavily over the community. The King Road residence became the epicenter of an exhaustive investigation. Among the most perplexing pieces of evidence was the lack of forced entry, suggesting the killer either had access to the house or entered through an unlocked door. Forensic evidence included traces of DNA found at the scene, though matching it to a suspect proved challenging. The knife sheath left behind added a significant clue, with investigators hoping it might hold the killer's fingerprints or DNA. However, anomalies complicated the case. Why did the surviving housemates delay calling 911? They reported being unaware of the murders until much later in the morning, a detail that sparked widespread speculation. Law enforcement clarified that no signs pointed to their involvement, but the timeline remained murky. Eyewitness accounts and security footage from the area revealed potential leads, such as a suspicious vehicle seen near the house. Yet, these clues only deepened the enigma. Was this an isolated act, or was there a broader motive? Theories surrounding the case have ranged from plausible to wildly speculative. One prevalent theory suggests the killer was someone familiar with the victims, a spurned lover or a jealous acquaintance. The brutality of the murders indicated a level of rage often associated with personal motives. Another theory posited a random attack by a transient individual. Moscow's proximity to highways made it plausible for someone to commit the crime and flee undetected. However, the calculated nature of the attack seemed at odds with such randomness. Some theorists pointed to a connection with the victim's social media activity. In the digital age, online interactions can draw unwanted attention. Investigators examined the victim's online presence for potential stalkers, though no definitive leads emerged. Theories also explored psychological angles. Was the killer a psychopath, seeking the thrill of the kill? The absence of a clear motive lent credence to this chilling possibility. Despite countless speculations, no theory fully explained the crime. Each angle left lingering questions, ensuring the case's place as a modern enigma. The investigation into the Moscow murders was one of the most extensive in the town's history. The FBI, Idaho State Police, and local law enforcement collaborated, pooling resources to track every lead. Challenges abounded. The crime scene was complex, with multiple entry points and overlapping DNA samples. The delay in discovering the crime likely compromised some evidence, leaving investigators to piece together a fragmented puzzle. Law enforcement faced criticism for the slow pace of updates. With the terrified community demanding answers, officials walked a fine line between transparency in protecting the integrity of the investigation. Breakthroughs came with time. DNA recovered from the knife sheath provided a partial match, leading to the identification of a suspect. However, legal constraints required investigators to build a rock-solid case before making an arrest. Public perception of the investigation remained mixed. While many praised the persistence of law enforcement, others questioned why key pieces of evidence took so long to process. Modern forensic science has played a pivotal role in the Moscow case. DNA testing, particularly advanced techniques like familial matching, allowed investigators to narrow their suspect pool significantly. Digital forensics also offered critical insights. Cell phone records, social media activity, and surveillance footage were meticulously analyzed, piecing together the victims' and suspects' movements. Future advances may further illuminate the case. Touch DNA technology, which can analyze microscopic traces left on surfaces, could offer new leads. Similarly, artificial intelligence might enhance pattern recognition in the vast troves of digital data connected to the case. Science remains a beacon of hope in solving the mystery of the Moscow murders. With each technological leap, the prospect of closure grows stronger. The Moscow murders captured national attention, dominating headlines and sparking intense public debate. The victims' families became vocal advocates for justice, channeling their grief into calls for action. The media's role was both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, coverage kept the case in the public eye, ensuring resources remained focused. On the other, sensationalism often overshadowed facts, leading to misinformation and undue speculation. Social media amplified public involvement. Amateur sleuths dissected every detail, offering theories that range from insightful to absurd. This phenomenon highlighted the double-edged sword of internet-driven crime analysis. Ultimately, the public's response underscored a collective yearning for answers. The case served as a stark reminder of life's fragility and the importance of community resilience in the face of tragedy. The Moscow murders left an indelible mark on both the local community and the broader cultural landscape. The case inspired documentaries, podcasts, and true crime series, reflecting society's fascination with the unknown. Beyond media, the case prompted changes in campus safety protocols. Universities nationwide revisited security measures, emphasizing the importance of student awareness and preparedness. The tragedy also sparked deeper conversations about privacy, crime prevention, and the role of technology in modern investigations. As the case continues to evolve, its cultural resonance grows, ensuring it will remain a focal point of public memory. And that concludes the chilling story of the Moscow, Idaho College murders. The case remains a haunting reminder of life's unpredictability and the shadowy depths of human behavior. What do you think happened? Could science eventually unveil the truth? Or will this mystery remain unsolved? Share your theories in the comments below. Today's question: what key piece of evidence could reveal the killer's identity? Your answer might earn you a shout-out in next week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories like this. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe.